In the middle of Russia's senseless war on Ukraine, dozens of people now say they are alive only because of one man, an American, who decided to stop watching the war from the States and decided to do something to help. Brad Hendrickson is a former UPS truck driver and in-home caretaker who left his life in Maine and deployed himself to Ukraine, where he spends day and night rescuing civilians caught in the crossfire. He documents those rescues on social media, where he's known as Bakhmut Brad, a nod to the place where he also conducted one of his most daring rescues. It was there where Brad met a woman desperately trying to save her husband, who had been injured in an explosion. Watch.
Сейчас. Жгут еще.
Good, good.
А нога забинтована.
A doctor, hospital.
Дойти?
Yeah. Here,
Сможешь встать?
here. I will drive to the hospital.
А я?
Come, come. Is this? Yeah?
Все. Надо помочь ему. Пошла кровь.
We have to go. Doctor. We have to go to a doctor now.
Unable to carry the man on his back, Brad pulled him down every single step to his car, driving in the pitch black to a hospital where he could receive some aid from healthcare workers. Brad Hendrickson, Bakhmut Brad, joins me now from eastern Ukraine. Brad, well done, sir. First of all, my hat's off to you. You've described yourself as a last mile guy, sometimes driving under bombardment. Obviously, not everybody at home should do this. We should warn folks that what you've done is extremely risky. But what made you decide to leave your life in Maine and do this?
Well, hi, Jim. There's a lot to work through with all of that, both before the fact and even here in the midst of it. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to others, and I will say that honestly, the story here isn't even so much me as it is the conditions that everyone is going through, right? I mean, what brought me there to that home that evening is that they had exhausted every other option that was available to them, local folks and other, evacuation phone numbers and resources, and no one else was available, either willing to go in or they just tied up other military personnel attending to their own wounded and so forth. And so the message I got was just there's this urgent need, and there's really nobody else available, and you know the area. Are you up for going in? And I opted into it, right? But yeah, it's pretty intense.
It's extremely intense, and the video that we showed our viewers a few moments ago of you helping that elderly gentleman down the stairs, I mean, again, just hats off to you. Job well done there. And we mentioned that you go by Bakhmut Brad, the city that has been the site of some very fierce fighting. What have you witnessed? What can you tell us about what you're seeing out there?
Conditions are brutal. What Ukrainian folks are having to endure, the way winter is being weaponized against these folks here is pretty unspeakable. Russian assaults are indiscriminate. There's a lot of pain that civilians are enduring. I guess I'm not sure how else to put that, but
yeah,
it's grim. And all of the volunteers who are out here in various different kinds of roles and ways we're all trying to roll up our sleeves and pitch in.
Well, and one of the things that the Ukrainian people are worried about, and they've told us so many times, is that they're afraid that the American people, the West, will lose interest. They'll move on to something else. And I think what you've done, Brad, that is just so remarkable, in addition to the bravery that you've demonstrated out there in helping these folks, is by putting it out there, putting it on social media, getting the video out to the public. I mean, that is just going to keep it fresh in everybody's minds. And I'm wondering, was there a particular rescue or route where you weren't sure if you were going to make it?
There are a few like that. I wear a great deal of heavy and very unfashionable armor. I try to get all of the intel that I can through apps and and other sort of sources about safe routes and what the activity has been in the area before going in. Part of why I was able to go in with these specific folks is that I had already been to their corner several times, even earlier that same day. So I knew the route. I was able to take that on. I'm not here. This isn't a death wish. I'm looking forward to returning when it makes sense. In a way, I really don't want to be here, but it's too weighty and too grim and too necessary and too unjust, right? To just kind of set it out.
No, I understand. I've talked to other Americans who have just felt compelled, like they couldn't make any other choice but to go and do what they could. Brad, let me ask you this: do you often get to check in with the people that you've rescued, keep tabs on them? What about the elderly gentleman you helped down the stairs and his family?
Yeah, I'm not in touch with most. I do offer my number to folks as it sort of seems fitting. With this particular couple, we've stayed in touch. We actually just exchanged some text messages about 20 minutes ago with the latest update. But they're now safe in the further into the west of the country. We actually ended up going to 2 different hospitals for levels of care. I'm not sure what footage you were able to see or not, but that night we had to go to 2 different places. To get what needed to get done that evening. And
he's okay, or he's
okay. He's going to pull through it. Yeah, the responding doc at the first place that I went to certainly gave it a we'll do what we can, sort of indication, and they did. They scrambled and they worked hard and did good, careful work. But there was some pretty serious injuries, including to his sort of chest and lungs and so forth. So. Anyway, rushing to stop, immediate bleeding and other stitches and tubing and so forth, and then on to the next location down the road. They didn't have any ambulances available, so we put him back in the same vehicle of mine and head on down the road to the next place.
And Brad, I know you operate on donations. How can people help? What can they do to pitch in?
Yeah, I think most of us anyway all do. There's a Bakhmut Brad Facebook group. And there's the, PayPal and Venmo and Zelle and so forth. I have a couple of friends that are helping me, with the group. Up until very recently, it was a pretty sleepy little group, just for some interested and supportive friends and family and folks from church and whatnot. And all of a sudden, some coverage is brought to the attention of a lot of other folks. So we're doing what we can. But yeah, the Bakhmut Brad Facebook group is where you can go and support.
Well, Brad, we appreciate your time very much and appreciate what you're doing over there. I mean, for a UPS driver from Maine, you have delivered hope, if you don't mind me saying, there in Ukraine. Thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Take care.